and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the brand new NECA Gargoyles Goliath video game edition. Better yet, this is the Sega Genesis version, and here it is. This is another one of the big boys here. And if you remember the Sega game here, and here's a picture of the actual game, you can see here they made NECA look like Sega, Goliath looks like Genesis, Gargoyles. It's almost the exact same picture, how it may be the exact same picture. I have to say, I think it looks really, really cool. I like it. To me, the figure looks more like he's turning into a into stone. So I did recently pick this up from Sergeant Red's here in Utica, Michigan. So if you're in the area and you want to find this, he does have it, or you can just check him out online. His Instagram page Sergeant Red's. Great store, good guy, like the owners. They joke around with you. They think I'm shorter than I am. That's all I have to say. Anyway, so here is the big box artwork. And here we have Goliath. And to me, it looks like he's turning into stone, but he's supposed to look like the video game. And the video game, again, it is Sega Genesis with 16-bit, so not the greatest for sure. At least, hey, when we had it, it was great. And again, the artwork looks absolutely awesome. I just want to say that the photography looks great. I love what NECA does. So we'll pop this thing open here, and you can see how big and muscular he is, and there is the figure. So this figure, all he does come with is the extra heads. He now comes with the draped wings. He has the big wings behind him, and then he has 2 sets of hands. He has a tail. I don't believe he has any other accessories. So let's open this up, take a look at it. We'll compare him to the first version of Goliath, the original. I can't say the OG because he's only been out like a year or so. But anyway, let's stop looking at me. Let's take a look at this. But before we get started, take a second, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a Gargoyles video. And it looks like NECA's going to be pushing these out, so I'm going to be pushing out my wallet to get these. So anyway, let's take a look at it. All right, so figure is out. Again, big, meaty package. But I have to say, the insert, which I've actually never taken out, the insert of a NECA, this thing came out really nice and easy. And as you can see, it is the 16-bit version of the game. So you have a nice backdrop if you want to use it for something like that. So we'll quickly take a look at the heads since I have them both out. Now, obviously, they're a little different color here. This here. So they're a little bit different color, but they're the same mold. The red eyes definitely give you a completely different feel for the figure. Where obviously this is way more like the cartoon, but yes, if you look up some screenshots or some video clips of the video game, you're gonna see this is kind of how he looks here. Everything is the exact same. So the hair is flexible enough. It's actually more, so this here is more flexible than the original, which is good, considering you lose a lot of mobility if you want to use this head. I mean, everything, the hair just is way softer. So that's a good thing. Not much paint apps. You can tell the teeth are a little bit of a different color, but everything else is the same. The hair is black. So not too much on that. We do have the 2 fists. Then we have his tail, which, if you know anything about the gargoyles, they just pop right in there. And for the most part, they're used as the third leg. It's the tripod, because I know they do have pegs on the bottom of their feet, but these figures are so big and bulky. So there's the pegs. They're so big. They have a big footprint. But I'll tell you what, his joints are starting to get loose. So he's really starting to sag. It's hard to get him to stay in the spot that I want. So I'm going to assume he's the same way. Thailog is becoming the same way. So this is on a bendy wire, so you are able to pose it. And that's how all the gargoyles are, so you can use it as the tripod to hold them up. So quickly we'll take a look at the wings here. They're the same wings as Goliath, obviously, but they're painted different. So, and this is why to me it looks like it is him changing into stone, but you do have this nice blue paint down the middle. I don't know the game that much. I quickly looked at it. Obviously, you saw the beginning of the video. I threw the beginning in there, but for the most part, the paint apps look good. The three spots of blue are painted nicely. This is painted a different color than the actual. I wonder what is painted. Yeah, so the actual color is this. This is painted on here, and then that's painted on the inside. And they have nice veins through it, and you can see the scales. Everything looks really nice. And here on the back, you have black, and then you have the same color gray, it looks like. So, both wings are going to be the exact same, and we will pop these on. These things are really sharp. You could take out a zombie. So, zombie apocalypse comes. Hey, you know what? Run in, grab one of these, and guess what? You can fight some zombies. All right. So let's pop off this head because we can get these wings off. Again, same draped wings as before. Again, everything is big. These things, you just knock them around. So his eyes, he has no pupils. They're just pure red eyes, but he has a more stoic face. It is the same face, but I have to say with the red eyes like this, it almost makes it seem like it's a completely different face. But there's really no paint apps other than the red eyes. And then you have the black hair. This is nice and pliable. This one seems a little bit stiffer. So to me, it seems like they're using a different plastic. Hopefully, it's something that was kind of told to them. Like, hey, you know what? This stuff is too hard. We'll take the wings off. Now, these are the wings that come with Bronx. These ones here. I don't mind the wings, but I have to say that as the collection is growing, it is harder and harder to put them together. Brooklyn's wings I hate them. They are straight out, and I knock everything over. The other ones are actually bigger, but the way they're shaped. So looking at this here, the only app that you have is this color here, because this is the original color, this gray. Now, it's kind of shoddy right here. It seems like it'll be covered, but over here you can kind of see some shoddy paintwork, to be honest. Maybe it's because of the plastic, but all up to the side here, it does look a little shoddy. You can see where it overran. My guess is because of the flexibility on it, how it's already molded over like this, that they had a hard time doing it. But you know, you gotta point it out. It's not the end of the world because it's gonna be hard to see, but and we are paying $40 for these things. So again, here it looks like paint kind of ran over it maybe. Then you have these nice gray right through here, so it looks like these wings, but you don't have the blue on the inside, and I wonder if that's just because it's too hard to do. It looks like they went with this color, none of this blue. So, I don't know, it's kind of, I won't say disappointing, but a little weird. So, looking at this guy, we'll pop the head on in a second here. Obviously, this is why I thought it looks like he was supposed to be turning to stone. But again, this is kind of how the video game is, 16-bit. You're only going to have a couple colors. And it looks more like a camouflage. But for me, this is going to be Goliath turning to stone. And that's, you know, my lore. But the paint looks pretty cool. It looks like it's kind of slapped on there. But I think that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Here is, looking up here, because this is the soft pliable stuff. It looks like the same stuff that's on the wings. So maybe that's the color it's supposed to be, but it's not anywhere else on this. So I think that that's a mistake. This is probably the way it's supposed to be. Here on the back, you have this gray. Then you have his whole back, which you're not... Oh, you won't, I guess you'll see it if you have the big wings on it. So quickly, let's take a look. He has a single joint knee. He gets a 90-degree bend. He's got the ankle rockers. He's got the toes. These things are super, super sharp. So are these. But no heat is needed here. They swivel back and forth. You can't get to a T-pose because he has these big, giant shoulders. So you can get up to about right here. That's kind of disappointing, but you can only do so much, I guess. You do have double joints. Of course, they're not pinless. That would be nice if they were, but it's kind of hard to see, and especially with this color. But I'm able to bend it, no problem, no heat needed. Get your bicep swivel. Then you got your arms that swivel. So let's pop off a hand, or the hands that swivel. Hand pops off real easy, no problem there. We can grab a fist and throw that bad boy on. And I'm able to articulate it without any heat whatsoever. Nothing feels bad, everything feels good. So let's throw the wings on it. These giant wings on, see if we need to apply heat. If I remember correctly, I needed to use heat on one of these, maybe multiple ones. See how big the tail is. So I'm able to move it. You can hear the ratcheting. Now it ratchets it up and down here. Now with some of these wings, they're just so heavy, they just hang down. Broadways, I can't really get to stay in the up position. Goliath here, I don't remember having a problem, nor do I have an issue with Thalog. So you just have to be careful. I know people have broken the Demona wings. So if you check it out here. So this one is ratcheted in really nicely. So they're kind of stiff. If you move them too much, I think eventually you're going to wear them out. You can see that one just fell, but they do pop into place. So you have this giant wings hanging out. We'll put the angry face on them. See how this fits. And it pops on nicely. Now I am able to move the head up, down a little bit, side to side, because the hair is very pliable. I'm going to try and get this guy to stand. Again, these things are not the easiest to stand. The knees are supposed to bend out like this, but even so, it puts so much stress and weight on them that you have to use, for the most part, use that tail to hold them up. So trying to grab this Goliath. So his head, I guess, moves up and down, but the hair just, it seems a little bit stiffer. Not all that much. So let's say you have this guy, and gotta say, if you have Mythic Legions, they kind of fit in really nice together, considering these guys were supposed to be around back then. Let me throw this guy over here. So you can play with these guys with your Mythic Legions, if that's how you want to. I mean, you can play with your figures any way you want. What about some AWOC here? Throw the AWOC in right here. He looks like he could fight with them. He looks like he's ready to go at it with them. Fight with your Mythic Legions. Again, I really like these. I liked the cartoon growing up. I don't fully remember it as well as you would think, but again, as I have mentioned before, I was transitioning from a young teen to an older teen that only cared about skateboarding. Now I care about both, because I'm an adult that has money to waste on toys. But there's your Goliath. There's me knocking everything over. This was not my gripe with the wings when I originally got them, but as I've gotten more figures, I wish the wings were a little bit smaller, because now that everyone has the giant wings, it is cumbersome to move them around. So I will probably have him also with the draped wings, which do plug in. So they plug into the back, if you can see right there. That way you don't have to worry about it just floating around. So that's about it. You just have waist swivel back and forth. But all he is a remake of this Goliath, face and all, which Thaylog was also a repaint of it, but with different faces. And I think different hands also. This guy, he's pretty much has everything the exact same. But if you like the video game, or if you just like the gargoyle, if you want one that looks like he's turning to stone, this is it. And you hear Roman in the back there. He doesn't care. He's mad that he's not on camera and no one's paying attention to him. So let's wrap this up, because I probably spent enough time listening to me. Alright, so there it is. That's my review on the NECA Gargoyles Goliath video game version, Sega Genesis. I do love the way the wings look. They're just so big. And when you have one or two, they're fine. But I will say this, as more and more have come out, they do start to pose a problem. And some of them don't ratchet properly. I think I'm going to do a whole video just quickly reviewing all the gargoyles once again, whether the wings, you know, how they hold up, if they stay up. Demonas don't stay up. Broadways don't stay up. Right? Broadways don't stay up. Brooklyn's are like 2 pieces out. They're annoying. Anyway, so there it is. I do like the guy. Again, for me, I want to 3D print like a top of like a church or something, where it makes it look like he's turning to stone, just like they do. You can't put them anywhere because these tails and the wings, they are cumbersome. Like, I do understand why people worry about it. I want something like this, where he's holding on to it, or that he's just kind of perched over it. So that's what I'm going to be shooting for. I really like that one right there, where he's kind of standing on top of it. So that's what I'm going to be trying to either 3D print or maybe buy something that's, I don't know, like, thanks Roman. There's Roman. He's hitting it. That's why I saw shaking. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I like him. If you like him, go out and get it. Did we need this? I don't know, but they do have to make their money back. Again, repaints are supposed to pay for new molds. And with these figures, there's only so many times that you can repaint it. Someone wants to go outside. His name is Roman. You want all about Roman with toys. But let's get out of here. But before we leave, you know, jump on Instagram. Follow me over there. A Punk with Toys, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And before I leave, don't leave, but hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified anytime I drop a video. And right up here is the playlist for all the gargoyles. And right here is another gargoyle review that I'm sure you're going to like.